Hi, my name is Avery Fields. In 2013, I shot my first feature film here, Ashes of the Phoenix, and the budget was just under $10,000, and that was mainly the cameras that I filmed it with, thanks to my parents. After I shot the film, I figured there have to be more films like mine that were shot for a very low budget and still made the big time. It gave me a little hope for my film, and I just thought it'd be something I'd share with you in my first top 10 video. So here it is. Number 10, Napoleon Dynamite. In 2004, brothers Jared and Jerusha Hess created the extremely awkward comedy based around a short film that Jared had done earlier, titled Palooka, one of those. The film had a budget of $400,000, and while seemingly impressive, the brothers could only afford to pay their lead actor about $1,000 for his role. This allowed them to spend most of the money on production value. Production was completed in only 22 days, and after its big Sundance debut, studios went crazy, and Fox was the highest bidder. The film grossed well over $46 million, and it also pioneered a new style of comedy. Number 9, Mad Max. Director George Miller was really pushing it with his budget given the film's high amount of thrilling sequences. The budget was somewhere between $350,000 and $400,000, which before Blair Witch really set the bar for profit to cost ratio. It grossed over $100 million worldwide. And a fun fact, for those of you who don't know, this was a big introduction for a young Mel Gibson at the time. Number 8, Halloween. The amazing John Carpenter's classic slasher film became the highest grossing indie film ever at the time with its $325,000 budget. The now famous Jamie Lee Curtis was only paid $8,000 for her role. Obviously, this proved to be an investment on both ends. The film gained immediate popularity and grossed over $70 million. Number 7, Clerks. The popular fat man Kevin Smith was hardcore determined to make sure his vision came to life. So much so that he sold his prized comic book collection just to accumulate only part of the film's $27,000 budget. The now iconic convenience store where the story takes place was where he worked, and he was only able to film there at night. To add to this, Smith used close friends and family to fill the roles. The film made a pretty decent $3 million, and needless to say launched Kevin Smith to fame. Number 6, The Blair Witch Project. Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez were major pioneers, as many people could have never fathomed the idea of a found footage film or a found footage genre, let alone a popular one. The director started very smart with an early viral marketing campaign online, which had people inquiring about the lost teenagers and questioning whether it was real or not, making many people want to see the film long before it had even come out. Unscripted, the actors' improvisations created a sense of realism which saved the film even more money, creating a budget of only $25,000. Despite Myrick and Sanchez's very low expectations for the film, their $249 million gross took them and their newfound found footage genre to the mainstream level. I suppose it's common for a skin flick to be low budgeted, but given that Deep Throat was screened at a conventional movie theater, it stands in this category, especially considering how popular it became afterwards. It only cost around $20,000 but grossed a lot more. It's very famous for making the topic of adult films a little less taboo than once thought. Number 4, Slacker. Though this film didn't start or end with much money, it's made an impact with its popularity and reputation making up for the lack of finance. It started a major indie filmmaker movement and was also one of the big starting points for the previously mentioned Kevin Smith. With its $23,000 budget, Slacker managed to gross just over $1 million. Number 3, Eraserhead, sure to be the inspiration for a lot of more modern black and white film enthusiasts. Eraserhead is a very iconic film. Director David Lynch conjured the crazy idea while in film school, but production was slow due to budget, of course. Once the film was completed under its $20,000 budget, it took years of the film being considered crap and a waste of time before it finally got its big screening to an audience of only 25 people. The small audience loved the film so much that it sent Lynch and his film skyrocketing to fame. Number 2, Paranormal Activity. The start of everyone's favorite found footage franchise, or at least the one that everyone knows. Paranormal Activity is one of the more famous feats by directors scraping for cash. With only 2 actors, a standard consumer camera, and no script, Oren Peli filmed this interesting piece over a 7-day period in his own home and sent it to horror film festivals. Once it gained industry attention, Paramount was quick to the draw and launched his film. It became the first major motion picture to use viral marketing. To date, the film has grossed over $190 million worldwide. Number 1. Pink Flamingos. John Waters was completely broke when he brought to the world this exploitation comedy. He spent many of his weekdays trying to raise as much money as he could for the film, and spent his weekends guerrilla shooting where he could. Aside from the many stolen portions used to help make this film work, the only real financial part of the budget was given to the art department, and it was only $200. Needless to say, this was spent very quickly. It didn't take long after the initial screening for the film to gain a huge cult following, and once it was picked up for distribution, the film went on to gross into the millions, despite its trashy premise. Well, that's all for my first top 10 video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe down below if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, please subscribe anyways because there are a lot more things coming. Also, be sure to check out my other segments, including Golden Faces, where I introduce the world to some very talented people. I'm Avery Fields with Fields of Gold Productions, and the vision is at hand.